Now, as we covered earlier in the program, Disney has indefinitely cancelled Jimmy Kimmel's ABC show after he peddled blatant lies about Charlie Kirk's assassination. He's now reacted to being dumped, with sources telling the Daily Mail that the alleged comedian is pissed and he isn't going to take this lightly. Kinsey, the source also revealed that Jimmy Kimmel's already got some plans underway.
Never forget Charlie Kirk's tweet from October of 2017. Jimmy Kimmel is not funny. Jimmy Kimmel is not funny. But yeah, first of all,
True.
reports suggest that Stephen Colbert is actually trying to book him for his show to exploit this. We love a pity party. Get in, loser. We're going job hunting. One of his producers say they were wandering around like aimless cows, adding, "I've never seen Jimmy this angry." And the source says that Jimmy is now looking to forever break his relationship with ABC. He wants out of his contract. And you know what? Good riddance. I think that a lot of these people think that they can walk away and recreate what Tucker Carlson has created. But,
Mm.
it takes a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and integrity to do what someone like Tucker's done. And I don't believe that Jimmy Kimmel has that, especially after what I've witnessed this week.
Well, he certainly doesn't have the talent. He is going to, I think, be in for a rude shock because he might be upset with ABC and Disney. But Kinsey, he's been very well paid for some very poor ratings for many years. You'd think he would be a little bit grateful.
No, no, absolutely. And that's the thing. I don't think that he realizes that wherever he goes next is not going to be as good as this deal. It's just impossible. The media landscape has changed, and you saw Charlie really kick the doors down with deciding, I'm not going to pursue mainstream media. I'm going to start my own media. I'm going to have my own podcast, and I'll use legacy media to build my brand. But I just don't think that Kimmel has the drive.
No, the work ethic, the talent, the principles, the list goes on. He doesn't have any of it. Now, Donald Trump has posted about Kimmel's sacking on Truth Social. He wrote, "Great news from America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is cancelled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible." So the president has had his say. Now, tell me about this actress who has posted about Charlie, saying he was hateful on her Instagram page. Tell me about, I'm not familiar with her at all. What sort of work has she done, and what sort of reaction is she getting?
I'm going to shock you when I tell you she's in the movie Mean Girls, right? Like the irony that this woman who has no sympathy towards a man who has just been shot and killed, not only in front of his two small children, but in front of the world online. The actress is from Mean Girls. So, I mean, that really tells us everything we need to know about her, right? But she says that we really should be looking, I can't remember how she phrased it, something about how we should, before we glorify this person, we should research them. And I would advise her to take her own advice there. So much of what you see people like Amanda quoting of Kirk's is either a blatant lie or completely taken out of context. If you listen to one of the man's entire arguments, he was respectful, loving, and principled. So, she has two small children, just like Erica. How would she feel if their daddy was taken from them in the way that Charlie was? Show some human decency.
You're so right, and particularly on Instagram and other social media sites as well, I've seen in the past week so much ignorance. I mean, it's one thing to say, I did not agree with what he said or his worldview, but people taking one line out of context without everything else around it that actually gives meaning to it, or just fabricating lines that Charlie never uttered and condemning him with that. I mean, that's what's really quite maddening. It's one thing to be honest, but it's another thing to be manufacturing fake quotes to malign a man who's been murdered.
And we expect that from social media, but when the New York Times has to apologize because they've taken something that Charlie said out of context, I mean, they they used a quote that was hateful, that was the introduction to Charlie arguing with that quote, without the follow through on
Yes.
why Charlie said that quote was wrong. And then they had to
Oh.
apologize for that. So I mean, it's not even, I think we've come to expect idiots on social media, but it's so disappointing when you see the mainstream, the legacy media, um, act in a similar fashion.
Now, President Donald Trump has singled out Princess Kate during his state banquet speech at Windsor Castle, praising her as radiant, healthy, and so beautiful as she sat on his right. How did she react to that, Kinsey?
It was so cute. She looked at him and smiled. I mean, obviously, she was a knockout at this banquet in this gold dress, tiara. I mean, it's everything I think it will be the picture of her. It's the best picture of her I've seen in her entire life. And I used to just love to look at her wedding day photos. But I also love this little dig I feel like he took at Prince Harry, because Trump says His Majesty has also raised a remarkable son. His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales is really amazing, and I think you will have an unbelievably successful future. So no mention of Prince Harry, just glowing about how much he loved the Prince and Princess of Wales. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan are probably sitting on their couch eating bonbons or whatever she's thrown flower sprinkles on. And I love to see them all shine.
Now, Melania Trump's choice of dress also raised eyebrows. It has been labelled a daring fashion choice. What's the consensus, Kinsey? I'm wearing yellow in tribute.
I love it. Isn't she so clever? She has us all talking. This digital debate reminds me of the viral dress from 2015. Was she wearing sunshine yellow or buttercup yellow? Was she wearing a lilac belt or a pink belt? Answer: buttercup yellow and an Easter purple belt. And I love the choice. Yellow symbolizes optimism, happiness, wisdom, courage. And after last week, we could all use a little bit of that.
Kinsey Schofield, thank you so much for your time.